I found them in our bed. Let's get to the story. Last week, I was completely and utterly happy, head over heels in love with my fiancée. We've been together for years. In May, we found out she was pregnant, and life didn't feel like it could get any better. I'm an essential worker who unfortunately still has to travel for my job. I've been trying to cut down on plane travel and drive instead whenever possible. Last week, I was scheduled to be gone all week, but ended up being able to leave several days ahead of time. I wanted to surprise my fiancée. It was an 8-hour drive that ended up taking close to 14 hours because of traffic and poor timing on my part. I got home around 10:30 p.m. and found her in our bed with a coworker, having sex. She's an assistant producer at a local news station, and he's one of the anchors. He jumped up, got dressed, and left. I was so angry I could see stars. She tried to talk to me about it, but I didn't want to hear it. I left and called a buddy, and I've been staying with him for the past 6 days. I have spoken to her on the phone. Yesterday, she told me it was a one-time thing and that she felt the passion was missing in our relationship, which I don't agree with at all. I think she was trying to justify the cheating and gaslight me. I'm so angry, and she won't stop harassing me. I don't know what to do. Are we going to be parents? I don't want anything to do with her, but I'm stuck with her for at least the next 18 years. She hasn't even apologized. She keeps trying to justify her actions. Update. Sorry for taking so long to update. This week has been hellish. I met with my friend's lawyer, family law contact, early last week. He contacted her and threatened to go public about the affair, which made her more forthcoming with information. She admitted they'd been sleeping together for over a year. She said she's 85% sure the baby is mine because they never had unprotected sex, but she doesn't want to do a DNA test until the baby is born. The lawyer believes the baby is the other guy's based on this comment. I haven't fully moved out yet, just moved a lot of my clothes into my buddy's place. The lawyer thinks I should sell the house and not let her buy me out because he doesn't think she has the funds and will try to BS me. The final update, thank you to everyone who checked in on me, both in this thread and via DM. I appreciate the support and love during this difficult time. Here's what happened. We did multiple DNA tests and the baby is mine. He was born a few weeks ago, and he's by far the greatest thing to ever happen to me. He makes all this mess worth it. His mother and I are not together. I strictly speak to her about the baby and nothing else. The house is sold with the closing day set for the 31st, but we don't need to be there for it. I'm still living with my buddy and hoping to buy a new home in the next few months for my son and me. I chose not to go public with the affair out of respect for our son. Her employers know, and she was terminated. The anchor is still working there. I don't know what their relationship consists of now, and I don't care. Progress update. I made this account over 4 years ago when I found out my ex-fiancé was cheating on me with a coworker. I completely forgot I made this account until I was going through my email yesterday. I figured I'd log back in and give hope to anyone in situations similar to or worse than mine. I was incredibly broken when this happened and tried to put all my feelings aside when our son was born. However, my emotions eventually caught up with me, and my ex and I had several verbal arguments. Shortly after, I realized I was letting her actions break me. I started going to therapy regularly. I had gone a few times before, but I didn't think it helped. Once I became consistent, it was a game changer. As a man, I was taught to suck it up and move on, but crying and talking about my issues helped immensely. My ex and I are actually on friendly terms now. She is also in therapy. I'm proud to say we co-parent well. We do family activities together, like opening gifts on Christmas or spending a day with our son on his birthday. He's 4 now. How do I have a 4-year-old? He's so smart, funny, and full of love for both of us. We have 50-50 custody, and it works for us. She's a great mom, and I won't take that away from her. I'm sure this isn't the update some of you wanted to hear, but it's what works best for our son. I don't hate her anymore, and she doesn't hate me. We're both in a good place. No, I don't want to be with her again. She has apologized for her affair. 2 years ago, we had an open and honest conversation where we both aired our feelings. That conversation helped me heal. The coworker moved to a new news station in another state about 2.5 to 3 years ago. They don't speak anymore. She's dating, but nothing serious. She started working again when our son was a year old and now has a job at another local news station. As for me, I'm doing well. I love watching our son grow up. I've been dating someone for the past 2 years. She's been the best human I've ever met. She loves my son as her own and has helped me with my trust issues. Ironically, we met at work. Even my ex likes her and has no problem with her being around our son. For those wondering, I waited a full year to introduce her to him. I just wanted you all to know that things do get better. Although life didn't turn out the way I originally planned, I'm still incredibly happy, and my son is thriving. I saw a comment I wanted to read from the community. Commenter: I was wondering, did he ever get punished? If you weren't the more level-headed person, you could have caused a big problem for that news station. The fact that she only got fired is mind-boggling to me. I would have expected him to be fired immediately for opening them up to a PR nightmare. Also, you said she apologized. Did she ever explain her reasoning behind the affair? You don't have to answer if you don't want to, but I like to hear the excuses they give. It's almost comical after so many years of hearing them repeatedly. OP's reply: I don't know, honestly. I'm sure there was some sort of action taken. I also think that might be why he left the news station and moved to a different state. People who work in the news industry have contracts that are typically 2 to 3 years long, so that adds up. I never outright asked my ex, and she never said anything to me. I think it was easier to fire her because she was coming to the end of her 2-year contract. She made less money than he did. Viewers wouldn't know she was missing because she's not on-air talent, so there were fewer questions than if he was fired. Usually, when someone leaves this station, they have a little party and wish them well. He was on one day and gone the next. We found out on social media that he had moved to another station. All his coworkers unfollowed him, so something tells me he was on thin ice at the station. I don't want to get fully into it, but one of her major issues was I work too much, and she's right. I was working a lot before she was pregnant, and I worked even more when I found out she was pregnant. We'd planned to start trying for children after we got married, but she got pregnant before that. Our wedding was canceled because of the major event of 2020 that devastated the world. So once I checked my ego, I could see how she was lonely and felt like I wasn't there for her. Not a reason to cheat though, but the resentment built up. Conclusion: when OP found out his girl was cheating on him and caught them in the bed together, he handled it quite well. He didn't snap. He didn't crash out, get into a fight, or wind up hurting anybody. He didn't do like some guys do and try to go back and forth arguing. He knew exactly what to do. He moved in with his buddy, started talking to lawyers, and had to talk to her strictly about the business. It seemed like he had to go through some therapy and stuff, but he handled it the way most guys wouldn't handle it. So I applaud him for that. A lot of guys these days let emotions get the best of them. They go to jail, somebody gets hurt, or sometimes someone gets unalived. That's why you have to keep your composure when dealing with situations like this. He did the right thing, got over it, and now he gets along with her. So everything is good now. He dealt with the pain and stress of it, and it seems like she owned up to her part of it all. That's how they got over it. It's good when you see a situation like this have a good turnaround. Most situations don't turn out like this. Okay, that's it for this episode of Cheater's Digest. Thanks for listening.